GM, everyone. Hello. I hope you are all having an amazing week. Welcome to one more Constellation workshop. Today, I'm joined by Nikolsa Tsang. He's a strategy analyst and Tencent Cloud. And he will do an introduction to Tencent Cloud services, followed by a demo. We will have a short Q&A sessions for any questions you may have. And then we will have our own developer advocate, Frank Kong, joining us to do a demo on how you can use Chainlink Functions with Tencent Cloud so that you are able to build something amazing with Tencent. So, Tsang, whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away and introduce yourself.
Yep, hello. Thank you for Sophie's opening. Maybe I introduce myself a little bit. I'm Nicholson. I'm the strategy analyst in Tencent Cloud. To begin with, I would like to express the gratitude to Chainlink Lab for the invitation to become the exclusive cloud sponsor of Constellation Hackathon. And Tencent Cloud is a very friendly cloud service provider. We look forward to see the hacking teams to leverage our cloud infrastructure to build some innovative projects to address the shortcoming of the Web3 ecosystem. In this part of the workshop, you will get know to Tencent Cloud infrastructure capability, our product offering, as well as to realize Tencent Cloud, how to enable Web3 company to run their application using our cutting-edge cloud product. Okay, now I will start the first session. Just to go through the first session workshop rundown, firstly, I will go through our hackathon sponsor content. Then we will talk about the overview of Tencent Cloud. After that, we will take a look on Tencent Cloud enablement for Web3. And finally, we will take a look on how to build with Tencent Cloud. I will briefly go through Tencent Cloud sponsorship content to let you clear on the resource you could leverage in this hackathon. We will provide 100 USD free credit to the hacking team for hackathon usage. You can see there are two QR codes. You can scan the left one to visit Tencent Cloud landing page for the instruction to open an account and claim the credit. You're also encouraged to scan another QR code to follow our official Telegram channel. We have the dedicated expert to support you along the journey for any technical inquiry related to our cloud product, account opening issue, and credit claiming issue. So feel free to take a photo on this page and you can scan the QR code. Also, you may be concerned about the price. In this hackathon, we will contribute a 200,000 USD cloud credit prize pool for the 20 winning teams. Every winning team could obtain 10,000 cloud credits to continue developing the project and grow from ideation. For our judging criteria, we will judge the project based on 3 dimensions. Firstly, the project value, innovativeness, and quality. Secondly, the project sustainability. We will appreciate to the project willing to have a long-term development and turn the project to a real solution. And thirdly, we will also take account on Tencent Cloud product usage. Tencent Cloud actually has many ready-to-use functionality and SDK, which could let you shorten your development time, especially in a very tight hackathon period. We're eager to see the project leverage our solution. And in the later on session, I will introduce more on our product and solution, which I'll recommend for the hackathon. After going through the hackathon event information, I will move on to talk about the topic of Tencent Cloud Web3 introduction. To start with, Tencent Cloud is the largest listed Chinese company by market valuation. We have popular products like WeChat, QQ, Tencent Video, and a diverse type of game with tremendous traffic. Tencent Cloud is the backbone to support Tencent ecosystem, which enable the largest application running on the cloud. Of course, apart from Tencent ecosystem, there are numerous biggest global applications also run on Tencent Cloud. So we are performance-proof with the ability supporting application running in the most challenging and complicated telco scenario. Now, let us have a glance at Tencent Cloud infrastructure setting. We invest infrastructure in 26 regions and 70 availability zones covering Asian Pacific, Middle East, Europe, and Northern and Southern America. We also have a global CDN presence with more than 2,000 nodes in mainland China and more than 800 nodes outside of mainland China. The nodes are distributed in more than 70 countries with gigantic bandwidth reaching 160 Tbps. With the heavy investment in hardware infrastructure, Tencent Cloud is very confident to provide cloud service to users with the highest performance level. Our cloud infrastructure and products are well recognized globally. We receive a great amount of certification to verify that Tencent Cloud has leading cloud service performance and follows the industry standard for the solution and product offering. We will then going to unveil Tencent Cloud enablement for Web3 application and industry. As a leader in cloud computing, Tencent Cloud has identified 3 key pillars to enable your Web3 success. The first pillar will be user engagement. We can help you build immersive metaverse experience through Metaverse in a Box solution and Media Service SDK. They contain the functionalities of virtual scenes construction, video, audio, and real-time communication. We also have the push notification service that can keep your user engaged in a global scale, as they could receive the most updated information from your company. The second pillar will be compliance and security. We offer an eKYC service to powered by AI, which can easily onboard your user. We also have a product called Tencent Cloud H1 to provide all-in-one security solution, which protects you from threats. These solutions include WAF, anti-DDoS, and CDN. Another tool for compliance and security is risk control engine. It could safeguard your business from different scenarios like registration, login, campaign, and payments. The last pillar will be cloud infrastructure. Our robust IaaS solution will provide the computational power and reliability to scale. This includes virtual machine, Kubernetes service, and our blockchain RPC service. The blockchain RPC as our first Web3 native product, we will later on go deep to introduce it. Tencent Cloud is one of the most Web3 friendly cloud service provider. We continuously put effort into leveraging our cloud infrastructure to facilitate Web3 ecosystem building. Here are some big name companies and foundations using Tencent Cloud or partnering with Tencent Cloud, including Chainlink Lab, our blockchain RPC strategy partner Anchor, as well as some of the trending Layer 1 and Layer 2 blockchains. Now, we will take a look into the real-world case to recognize how Tencent Cloud empower the Web3 business with real success. In this case, the company provides metaverse entertainment dedicated to serving celebrities, artists, and brands. It utilizes gaming and NFT elements to provide immersive experience. However, it faced 2 challenges. The first challenge is to expand market coverage in Asia and Europe. And the second challenge is to transform an existing game to add new elements such as NFT and token. So regarding to the challenge, Tencent Cloud provides following solutions. We provide VM machine and database deployed in multiple global regions to set up and expand geographic coverage for the application to reach more audience. For the second challenge, our blockchain RPC is used to help application connect to the selected blockchain for blockchain element integration. Moreover, we also provide Tencent real-time communication solution and game media engine to enhance the in-game experience. By leveraging Tencent Cloud solution, the company achieved following results, including the optimization in cost efficiency, the comprehension of gaming suite, establish better user experience, and also building better customer connection. After introducing Tencent Cloud Web3 abilities and our client case, now let's take a look to explore how Tencent Cloud Blockchain RPC and other products can be used to empower your Hackathon project and Web3 business. We understand that Web3 application consists of two crucial parts, the on-chain part and the off-chain part. The on-chain part primarily deals with asset and core data, which are reside on blockchain. However, the off-chain section is equally important, as it could support the application to have the advanced functionalities that may be limited by inherent constraints of the blockchain. Here are the products we provide. For the on-chain part, we provide a high-performance blockchain RPC service. It allows seamless connection to the blockchain and enable interaction with smart contracts. This service can ensure efficient and reliable communication between the Web3 application and the underlying blockchain infrastructure. And moving to the off-chain part, we have the cloud virtual machine. It could offload the computationally heavy task from blockchain to the off-chain environment. This approach will strike a balance between decentralization and the overall application costs. Another valuable product for the Hackathon project is the cloud storage solution. So no matter you need to store the file content for your NFT or other media content for your website, our cloud storage will provide scalable and secure storage option to meet your requirements. Furthermore, our database service can also empower your application with analysis and querying capabilities. It ensures your application to have better user experience with the off-chain application data and the blockchain indexing data. Blockchain RPC as our newly launched Web3 native product. It is essential component for every Web3 application. I will go through more detail on it. Now, for those familiar with blockchain development, you may be well acquainted with blockchain RPC. It provides developer with convenient interface to query blockchain data and submit transaction. To start with the reason why we launched the blockchain RPC service, we hope Web3 company can focus on building Web3 application without worrying about the complexity of node management. That's why we have partnered with Anchor, one of the biggest node service provider, to develop our blockchain RPC product. Based on Anchor's blockchain RPC service, they have the experience of developing and maintaining the RPC service. It can ensure that we offer a robust and reliable service that can meet the need from Web3 business. Our blockchain RPC service currently supports 4 popular blockchain, and we have the plan to expand our support to include even more blockchain in the near future. Our blockchain RPC will have 2 service modes. Apart from the public mode, we will also have the private mode. The private mode could tailor for enterprise need. It comes with customizable service level agreement to allow enterprise to have their greater control and flexibility over their own blockchain infrastructure. At Tencent Cloud, our blockchain RPC service will offer several distinct advantages that set us apart from other providers in the market. Firstly, we have extremely low latency. By leveraging Tencent Cloud optimized network infrastructure, we ensure the mean latency of our blockchain RPC remains below 15 milliseconds. And in addition to the low latency, our premium plan offers high throughput capability to handle the traffic growth of your decentralized application. we have the rate limit of up to 1,800 queries per second. We surpass other mainstream RPC service provider to ensure smooth and uninterrupted operation even during peak usage periods. Lastly, we understand the importance of cost efficiency. That's why we offer a very generous free trial offering, allowing you to explore our blockchain RPC service at no cost. The free trial version allows users having a rate limit of 1,800 requests per minute without the hard limitation on the request quota. It could already cater most of the Web3 application RPC demand. Actually, our free trial version already surpassed the service plan of many mainstream no service provider. And for the premium plan, we provide flexible and cost-effective pricing plan. You have the option to purchase the package with a specific number of API units, and then the API units will remain valid for 1 year, starting at $50 USD. It ensures substantial cost saving compared to a monthly subscription model. You will no longer face the problem of not enough request quota in the peak usage month and wasting the request quota in the slack month. Now I will show the demo to have my colleague Flying demonstrate our blockchain RPC product so that you can know more on its usage scenario and also learn more about how to integrate your to your dApps project. So may I have Sophia, you put the video onto the stage.
Cloud.com. Then click the. Thank you, Nick. To begin, we go to Tencent Cloud International Station, tencentcloud.com. Then click the Product tab. Scrolling down and find Industry Applications. You can see Blockchain Service. Then click Tencent Cloud Blockchain RPC. And click Get Start button. It will jump to login page. You can sign in with an existing account or sign up a new account. After sign in, we can see the terminal view. To functionality, project, installation, and usage statistics separation, we introduce the concept of an application which must be created beforehand. Each application corresponds to a unique API key. Click the Create New Application button. Field in name and description. Now you can see the new application in the list. Click View Key. We can see that we support several of the most widely used chains, such as Ethereum, Polygon, BSC, and Scroll. We both support mainnet and testnet. General different URL prefix that can be accessed directly without additional approval. We also can click View Detailed. In Detailed, we can see the basic details and different network endpoints. We also provide WebSocket link and granular security config, contain website whitelist and IP address whitelist. Below the application list, you can see overview, contain unit balance, unit usage per day and per week. Public free plan limit is 1,800 requests per minute. We can also click top up button to purchase more units and upgrade plan to premium. Premium plan rate limit can up to 1,800 requests per second. In statistic page, you can choose each application chain and network to see total requests, average requests per second, and unit usage within the special time. The wallet served as the primary interface connecting users and blockchain network, and a stable and high-performance RPC network enhance the user experience, especially in hot event scenarios. Take, for example, the rush to buy NFT. We found a token that we really like. Stable RPC service will give us a higher probability of success purchase. So we need to configure the wallet network first. We copied the URL and passed in the MetaMask network setting and fill into the corresponding network parameters. After that, switch to the corresponding network and verify your account balance. Once confirmed, you can click Buy Now buttons and sign the transaction. Click Confirmed. Okay. The transaction will send fast by our RPC endpoint. After that, you can see the NFT is transfer success. We provide true convenience boilerplate for developers to better integrate our RPC service. One for contracts builders is hardhat boilerplate. The other one for full on-chain game builders is merged boilerplate. You need to follow the steps in the README file if you want to deploy to public chain with Tencent RPC. In hardhat network config file, you need to replace the API key where you can get terminal, select the chain and network and copy it past here. And replace the test account private key to deploy contracts. After deploy success, you can run the front end like this view. You can see the token amount read from on-chain, and you can try to transfer one token to reception address. When you click Transfer and click Confirm, wait for the transaction. After that, you can see the token amount change. When you click the wallet, you can see the transaction status. Go back to the terminal. You can click Statistics page and select your token, chain, and network. You can see the request detail. But the boilerplate are the same step as hardhat demo. You should replace the network configs with your API key and your private key. More details can be found on our GitHub repository.
The video I already show, and this video I'm flying mainly showing us how to using our RPC endpoints to put to the MetaMask, and then netting you to connect to the dApps with a very stable and reliable environment, and also flying also mentioned on how to integrate the endpoint into the development framework hardhat. So in case if you would like to learn more on how to using the RPC, feel free to review this this workshop content on the YouTube. I see there is some question being asked. I will try to have a Q&A session to answer these questions.
Yes, thank you, Nicholson. Let's go through the first question from Leo. What is the edge of using Tencent over another key players in cloud services provider?
For this question, I try to answer it. Tencent has its own infrastructure. We have many data centers built in worldwide. And for compared to other cloud service provider, we are very friendly. We actively building our connection with many foundations and many projects. We have our own startup program to connect to different startup and company. And for the project, we will support them using our cloud resource to grow from ideation to launch their product. So as a cloud, as a very supportive company, we have bigger ecosystem compared to other cloud service provider in the decentralization, application development, and also Web3 space. Yep. So could I answer? Yep. And this is the answer of this question.
Yes, Leo, let us know. And he also has another question. Since Web3 is all about truth over trust, where are the key features that makes Tencent a great cloud provider over other known service providers? What is the decentralization aspect of Tencent?
For us, we are mainly providing the infrastructure for the Web3 developers, like the blockchain RPC we mentioned. So we have, just as I mentioned before, we have the distributed service. So we have better performance when you need to provide content, like to deliver content to the audience worldwide. And also every application, every Web3 application, they will have the on-chain part and the off-chain part. And for the off-chain part, like Tencent Cloud have many experience. Like if you want to build a metaverse application, you may have the blockchain to support your assets and tokens. However, you also need the cloud rendering for the virtual world. And Tencent Cloud have many industry experience in developing application and have the SDK for cloud rendering, for audio, for real-time communication. These experience could provide us the experience to provide the best service to support the Web3 ecosystem and the business and the functionalities required by the company.
Thank you, Nicholson. Leo, let us know if this is okay for you, if you have any other questions. I hope you're doing well since we last saw each other on SmartCon. And if all good, then we have a couple other questions that I can go through. Can I use Tencent Cloud Blockchain RPC throughout my hackathon at Chainlink?
Yeah, sure. We actually provide the mainnet and testnet for our blockchain RPC. So we have the generous free tier. I have mentioned in the presentation. We have 1,000. We have the rate limit for the free tier reaching 1,800 request quota per minute. So you can feel free to use the RPC in your project. It could support you to develop the blockchain RPC, to develop the dApps.
Okay. I'm also seeing a question about the usage of Chainlink functions in the chat. Right after this, our developer advocate, Frank, will actually do a demo on the usage of Chainlink functions within this topic. So I'm sure he will be able to answer your question. And the next one is, will it support Avalanche or Arbitrum?
Yes, these two blockchain actually are very famous blockchain. They are the trending blockchain, and we plan to support expand our blockchain support Currently, we are supporting 4 blockchain, and I think in the late December, we will have around 10 blockchain being covered. And these 2 trending blockchain will, of course, being covered in our later development period.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Nicholson. If there's any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll just give it one more minute, and if there's not any other questions, then Nicholson, thank you very much for your presentation. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Or
thank you, Sophia. Thank you, everyone, to sit here to listen to Tencent Cloud introduction on Web3. Hope this sharing can make you learn more on Tencent Cloud. So I may pass the time to Sophie and Frank to continue having the session to have some introduction on how to connect dApps to Tencent Cloud with Chainlink function.
Thank you very much, Nicholson, and we hope
you.
to see you soon. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Hey, Frank.
Hello,
How's
everyone.
it going? So Frank is now will show us a demo on how you can utilize Chainlink functions with Tencent Cloud. So Frank, whenever you're ready, feel free to take it away.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, really excited to be here, and thank you very much. Thanks, Sophia, and thanks everyone for coming to this workshop. I'm Frank, and I am a developer advocate from Chainlink W team. And in today's workshop, in the first session, Nicholson just gave a very detailed and full introduction to the Tencent Cloud products. And after that, I'm going to give you a very brief demo to just show how we can connect our smart contract to the Tencent Cloud database. And in the process, I'm going to use a product called a Serverless Cloud Function, which is a function provided by Tencent Cloud to allow the developers to just expose an interface from the database to the outside user. So with this product, we can just make an API call and get the data that we saved on the database, and then we fetch this data in a very decentralized manner with the help of the Chainlink functions, and then we can just save this data and fulfill this data back to our smart contract, and we can do whatever we want them to do. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, this screen, share my screen. Okay, cool. So I will first just give some theoretical part of the Chainlink functions and what we are going to do within our demo. And next, I'm going to do the demo. And if you have your laptop in your hands, I strongly encourage all of you can just code with me, and you can learn how to use Tencent Cloud, how to use the Chainlink functions. Okay, cool. So in my workshop, or in my part, there are going to be 2 sessions. In the session number 1, I'm going to give a brief introduction of the Chainlink functions. And I'm sure that one of my colleagues, Zubin, gave a very detailed and a deep dive introduction of the Chainlink functions. So for those who didn't attend that workshop yesterday, I just give a brief introduction about what is Chainlink functions and what role Chainlink functions plays in this industry and what we can do with the Chainlink functions. And after that, I'm going to give a 20 or 25 minutes demo to show how we can use Chainlink functions to fetch the data from the Tencent Cloud with a product called Tencent Serverless Cloud Function. Okay, cool. Let's start. So why do we need Chainlink functions for our Web3 decentralized application? As you can see that with the growth of the ecosystem in the Web3 keep growing, and we will see a lot of the business logics and a lot of the Web3 version applications on the smart contract. For example, like we can just build a Web3 version of the insurance, like weather flight delay insurance. So if someone just buy your insurance and he is a client of your insurance, maybe the flight is delayed or the weather is bad, we can just offer some payouts to the clients. So compared to the Web2 application on the Web3, well, the blockchain is a decentralized system, and whatever written in the smart contract will be executed by a lot of the nodes on the network. So if the flight is delayed, the client of this protocol will be 100% offer the payout. So, but there is a very important point in this Web3 version insurance is that we have to know if the flight is delayed or not, if the weather is good or not. So all of this kind of data will come from will be from the some Web2 API point. So, for example, we can get the data from our database. We can get the data from some traditional data providers. We can get it whatever we want with the help of the Chainlink functions. And also, in order to apply more business logic to the Web3 ecosystem, we can just use this tool or use this technology to just grant our smart contract more flexibility and to the data we want. So for the Web2 apps has today, all the features Web2 app has today, we can use out of these features in the Web3 application. For example, we can just get the data, the greenhouse gas emission data on chain and create some carbon asset. Or if you want to build a gaming or you want to build a dynamic NFT, you definitely get some data from your server, because you cannot maybe you cannot apply all the business logic, all the server functions in the smart contract, right? Because the latency and the high gas fees, right? Okay. So for the Chainlink functions, what we do with the Chainlink with Oracle is that we have a decentralized Oracle network here. So compared to the single node or single server you set up in the off-chain and get some data from your data source and fulfill the data to the smart contract, we kind of minimize the feature or this mechanism from the decentralized network to the Chainlink decentralized Oracle network. So in the DON, in this decentralized Oracle network, we can just apply this feature in the data delivery layer. So you can just leverage on the DON and get the data from whatever you want and in a very, very decentralized manner. And for the Chainlink functions, as you can see here, this is the workflow of the Chainlink functions. We have the DON here, the DON decentralized Oracle network. And except for that, we will have a two smart contract. First one is a user smart contract, or we can call it the consumer smart contract. And as an end user, the developer can send a request to the consumer smart contract. And then the smart contract will just wrap your request and send it to the Chainlink function smart contract, which is deployed by the Chainlink. And in this smart contract, your request will be written into an event, and this event will be emitted by the functions. After that, it could be detected by the DON, maybe one node in this network. And if your request is detected, every different node on this network will just execute whatever you ask them to do, maybe just do some computations or get some data from the outside API. And after this data is fetched from the API, and every different node on this network will just talk to each other and do an aggregation. It's like every different answers in the different node will be get together, and then a final report will be generated and submitted to the Chainlink function smart contract. And after some necessary verification from the Chainlink function smart contract, the aggregated result will be fulfilled to the user smart contract. So from the perspective of the end user just write whatever they want the Chainlink function node to do, and write it in the JS code and send it to the consumer smart contract. in this smart contract, after several seconds or after like several blocks, you will get a result. And this result is actually fetched from the API result in a very decentralized manner with the leverage of the Chainlink functions. Okay, cool. So as a developer, it actually very easy for you to use Chainlink functions. So for you, step one is just create your consumer smart contract, and you will have two functions within your smart contract. One is called execute request or standard request, whatever you want to name it. But the aim of this function is to create a function request and send it to the Oracle smart contract. And under this smart contract, your request will be transferred to the build registry and then imaged to the event log. And it could be detected by the DOM. But actually, you don't need to worry about any smart contract deployment or server setup or any configurations. The beauty of this is that we provide a serverless platform. What you only need to do is to create a smart contract for your consumer and write these two functions under this smart contract: send a request and receive the request. So after you send this request and after the execution of the done, the aggregated result will be fulfilled to your smart contract. Okay, so this is what you need to do for the Chainlink function to send any request to any API outside the blockchain. Okay, cool. And if you want to see more use cases from the Chainlink functions, we actually have a website called usechainlinkfunctions.com. So please feel free to head to this website to check more use cases, like get some data from the AWS Data Exchange, or I think after the workshop, I will add some use cases for the Tencent Cloud. And also you can use Twilio to send some text or emails to the users if the user binds your identification on chain, or you can use Google Cloud or some other cloud provider to send requests and get the data. Okay, cool. So next is a simple demo. So in the demo, what we want to do is that we want to get some data from our business logic, which is in the off-chain server. So usually when you want to build a Web3 version of the project, we don't just apply all the business logic in the blockchain and write all of them into the into the smart contract, because that will make your smart contract very huge. And every time if you want to call the functions, every time you want to deploy the functions, or even you want to upgrade your function from lower version to the higher version, it will cost a lot of the resources, including the time and the money. So usually we will have some business logic off chain, and maybe we will have some asset or some very important governance and a business logic on the blockchain in your consumer smart contract. So in this scenario, what we can do is that we can use the Chainlink functions as a intermediary. So we send the request from our smart contract of the consumer, and also write some JS code to describe what we want our Chainlink function to do, and send it to the Chainlink functions, and the functions will just send this request to the every node, and the node will execute what is described in the proposal or in the request, and to fetch the data from the business logic and then feed it back to the consumer smart contract. So this is the role of the Chainlink functions plays in this scenario. And for today, we're going to use the Tencent Cloud product to save our data. And also, we actually create a something called a serverless cloud function provided by Chainlink to just expose the interface or the access to the cloud database to a API gateway. So within the API gateway, we can just call it with some RESTful URL and get the data and fetch what we want from the database and then write it back to the consumer smart contract. So we're going to do this in our following demo. Okay, so let's start. So first thing, let me see if there are any questions. Yeah, I think that is the answer from another member from Tencent team, Flying. Thank you, Flying. And cannot see it. Wei Chengpeng. What do you mean you cannot see it? You cannot see my screen, or what kind of stuff you cannot see? Okay, please let me know. Yeah, let's start. So first of all, we are going to the Tencent Cloud, the tencencloud.com, and go to the console. I think how to register and get a account from the Tencent Cloud will be has been already introduced by Nicholson. And if you have any questions, please drop your question in the chat box, or maybe leave your question in our Discord channel, and the members from the Tencent team will answer all your questions. And for me, I have already created a Tencent Cloud account. And in the Tencent Cloud account, go to the console, and you can see here, there are a lot of the products under the Tencent Cloud, right? So the first thing I want to do is go to the database. So you can see here, let me see if I can zoom in. Oops. It is not displayed correctly. So for here, here is a relational database. So under this tab, you can see there are a lot of the databases. And for this use case, I'm going to click this button, the Tencent DB for MySQL. Actually, you can choose another database like a SQL Server, PostgreSQL, or TDSQ-C. But for me, for this example, I'm going to create a table in the MySQL. So under the MySQL database, you can see I have already created a database server, and it is running. If you do not have the database server, you can click this button, create, and then you can just, what is that? Oh, never mind. You can create a new server by click this button, and please make sure you can get some vouchers from Tencent team in this hackathon before you do any transactions, before you create any servers in the Tencent Cloud. Okay, if I click my server, actually I can see all the details of my server, the name and instance, and the private network address and a public network address, and I can just log in to my database server. And in my database server, I can use a SQL statement to create a table, to add some record or update the record. Yeah, in the interface, I can log in. Okay, cool. So in the Tencent database, I can see here for the SQL window, and here is a terminal for me to execute any SQL statement to create a table or do anything like that. So for me, let me just create a table called maybe players. So let's just mimic if I have a table with two columns. For the first column, that is a username, and for the second column is like a score or some points of this user. And create a table, we will give the two columns. So for the column number one is ID, and I can give it a variable character. It's 255. And in the second one, it's called maybe score, and make it like a integer. And let me just create this table. You can see this, execute. Yeah, so this table is created, and let me refresh the database listed. And you can see here is a table of the players, and the columns and index. And after that, I want to just add some data into the table players. And let me see that insert into players, like first one add ID, and the next one add a score and values. Maybe give it a name like Frank, and give it a score like maybe 20. And I also want to insert another record. The next one will be someone whose name is like Nicholson. How to spell that? Nicholson. And give it a score like 30. And I just need to insert these two records into my database and execute that. Okay, so I guess these two records have already been added to my table, and let me check if that is added successfully. Select star from it should be from layers. Execute that. Yeah, you can see here in the table here, we have two columns. The column number 1 is ID. I have two persons. The first person is Frank, and the second person is Nicholson. And the second column is the score. This is the score of the Frank, and that is 30 is the score of the Nicholson. And after that, if I want to get the data from this table, what I can do is that I can build a backend, use some server, and build some functions to fetch the data from the database. Or I can use something like a Tencent product called serverless function, the serverless cloud function here. If I click this one, this serverless function is kind of the product to allow the developers to just create an interface for the database for some other data storage data. And if I click this, the function service, you can see I have already created the serverless cloud functions for this hackathon, and that is called a Chainlink hackathon. If I click that, from the UI, actually, here are some of the different tags here, and in the function code, you can actually create whatever you want in a Python, or I think in the JS code, it is also okay. And if you have any questions about how to use these two different products, maybe just go to the Tencent documentation to check the documented. There are a lot of instructors for you to get to know how to use this product. And in this index.python, actually this is a program to create an interface and just get some data from the database and whatever you want, and you can create some functions to help you to get connected to the specific table and get a specific data. So for the main handler, you can see here, and the first step is to parse the path. If you just make a RESTful API, you will have a path, and we have two regular expression here. The first regex and the second regex to just parse the path to find what is the resource. And based on the different resource, I can just connect to the different table from the Tencent database. And for now, if I want to get a table I want to get a player table to just fetch some data, I can go to my cloud serverless function and create a new function. It will be similar as a function in the sample code, like maybe like this one. I just copy that and update to the get players to get the data from the players table. And the first part is just get connected to the table, and nothing need to be changed. And the second one is that I need to create a SQL statement, select star from users, and maybe I want to change that to the players. And then I will use this cursor to execute the SQL, and then fetch all of the data of this result, and then return that. And after I added these functions, the get players, and I can just add add a resource to direct it to this function. Oops. Okay, so if the resource is players, if you send a resource with a URI and your URI, you have a players this keyword, your request will be redirected to this one, and it will call the get players. Okay, and let me just update the name to the players. Copy that, update this one, and update this one. So for the players, we create a function here, get players, and then we have a path to just redirect to this function and get the data from the player table. Okay, so after these two functions and two snips added to our program, we can deploy this one. Okay, waiting for deployment. Yeah, the function Chainlink Hackathon successfully deployed. So for now, we actually have an interface to call the data we just saved within this table. Okay, so how we can call that? So here is a tag called the Chainlink, called a function URI. So click this one, and you will find here the access path, this one. So copy that one. Maybe you can try it from your browser, and going to copy that URL here and just type the players and give the GET request. Oops. So for now, that is because I returned the JSON file, so maybe I cannot directly see it from the browser. But if I use something called Postman API platform and go to this one, I just want to show the result. What kind of the data we can get from this service function. And launch Postman. This is just a proxy to help us to send any RESTful API request to any data provider. And this one, I think, go to my workspace. And I can create a new tab and paste the address here in the /players. And here you can see these two records was returned in a JSON format, and we can see the Frank here and Nicholson here. The score of Frank is 20, and the score of Nicholson is 30. And for now, the way to get data from the Tencent Cloud is done. And in the second session, I'm going to show you how to use the Chainlink functions to just push this data to the smart contract. Actually, let's just assume that we want to get the person with the highest score in the table. So how we can do that? I just want to just use a decentralized Oracle network to get this data from the Tencent, and then choose the one with the highest score and save this person's name in our smart contract. So how we can do that? Okay, the simplest way is to just open the docs.chain.link, and we provide some sample codes for the Chainlink functions. And if you go to the documentation of the Chainlink and go to the functions here, and read the docs, and in the getting started, we actually provide a smart contract, sample smart contract. Let me see, where is that? Yeah, this one. The deploy a functions consumer contract on the Polygon Mumbai. So let me just open that in the remix. Okay, so here is a sample codes for the Chainlink functions. So what the sample codes does here is to call an API from the outside of the blockchain. And the source code they want the DON to do is written here. As you can see, that the API response is just a get is to wait for the HTTP request, and this one is API the sample codes wants to call. But actually, in our use case, we want to call the API we saved on the Tencent Cloud, and we can copy this one here, paste it, copy that, switch back to the remix, and paste it here. And for now, we have the URI, and the URI is directed to this API we just created on the Tencent Cloud. And after we get that, we will have the response in the data. The data is actually this JSON file. So if we want to get a username with a high score in our request, I need to do some sorting, right? So in the data.sort, this is a JS code, right? Sort, and we give it a function, 1, 2. So if you don't understand what is what does it do, maybe just check how to sort a element in an array in the JavaScript, and it will have a lot. And then return a dot score. No, it's b dot score minus a dot score. Don't forget to double quote that. Add a semicolon here. So we just add this line to just sorting this JSON file to make the person with the highest score in the first element. Okay, so back to the remix, and then we want to return the name of this element. But in the database, the name is called ID, because in the return file here with the ID, name is Nicholson. Actually, this is a name. So we use the column name ID in our JavaScript code. So in the remix, we complete our source code, and then we can check another 2 functions I just introduced in the slides. So the first one is the send request. This function is used to send this function request to the DON. And the next question is called a fulfill request. This function is used to just receive the result back from the chaining function DON. And after we receive this response, actually, this response contains all the data we required in our request. And then we will just save this request in the response. And also, we just use this data type conversion and then change that to the string. We will see the character here should be, should be Nicholson, right? Because Nicholson with a higher score than Frank. So if everything works good, after we send a request, we will see the character name is Nicholson. And actually that is a winner maybe in your game, or that is a winner in your raffle, anything you want. You can use the Tencent Cloud to save your data and use the Chainlink functions to fetch this data in the centralized manner and fulfill this data back to your smart contract. Okay, cool. Let's just compile this smart contract, and there is one error. I think that is the issue of the compiler version. Let me change that to the 0.8.19. Well, let me compile that again. Yeah, when you see the little green check mark here, that means the smart contract is compiled successfully. And let me go to the deployment tab and switch the environment from the remix VM to the injected provider. And as we can see here in the sample codes, the configuration is hard-coded for Mumbai. So I need to change my network from the any testnet to the Polygon Mumbai. Oh, great. My MetaMask in my MetaMask, Polygon Mumbai is already configured. So I can deploy that one, right? Deploy that. MetaMask pop up and I click confirm. Yeah, this smart contract is deployed, right? And if we want to send a request, actually I need to input two parameters within these functions. The first one is the subscription ID, and the second one is the argument. Actually, in our use case, we don't use any argument. And in the subscription ID, I give the subscription we save our balance to allow this smart contract to make use of the use of that of it. Yeah, let me just create a subscription for the Chainlink functions. So go to the function .chain.link. Yeah, in the function, click this button. Let me zoom in. So create a subscription, and the UI will read the address from your MetaMask and maybe add your email here. So if there is something wrong, you will receive an email from the Chainlink functions. And then check this one, and then create a subscription. And confirm. Yeah, and then click sign. And let me check if any questions. Yeah, any questions about the Tencent Cloud? Actually, Nicholson is still here, and after this demo, Nicholson will answer your questions about the Tencent Cloud. And after the subscription created, I can add funds here. Maybe I will give it 3 link tokens and add funds. MetaMask pops up and confirm to add funds to the Chainlink function subscription. Yeah, and the next one is add consumer. The consumer is a smart contract to which you want your balance to be used. So we have already deployed our contract. So we copy the address of our contract and add it here and add consumer. Again, click confirm. Maybe 15 seconds. Yeah, the subscription is created successfully and the consumer added successfully. And let me just view this sub. Yeah, as you can see here, the subscription this subscription has a number, the ID, I'm sorry, the 731, and there is one consumer under this subscription of the Chainlink, and this is a history of this subscription. Created that, funded that, and added the consumer. And after that, we can actually send our request. So first, we give it a ID of our function, that is 731. 731, and because we don't need any arguments, so we give it a empty array. So let's just transact and confirm. And we are using the remix to send a request to the Chainlink functions with the logics we have over here. And actually, for now, every different node under the decentralized under the functions will execute this this snippet of this code and just call this API and get the result and do the sorting, and then encode the result into a string and send it back to the smart contract. Okay, since this request is sent successfully, so if we go to the functions and refresh the page, we will see the functions will be showing here maybe. Yeah, it's already success. So the Chainlink functions receive our request, and the function does what we ask them to do with the JS code, and it returns the result back to the smart contract. And this is the status of the request in the recent fulfillments. So for now, if we check the character here, we can see, oops, there's nothing. That's the response. Oh, it looks like there was some error happens. Let me check. What is that? Data sort. And this one, I need to remove that. Let me check if I can get it from the browser. And from this one, send it again. Yeah, we can get it. Score in the remix. Return b.score minus b.score in data sort function. Fulfill the request. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. So number is the 731. That is correct. Let me send it again. Send it. And for this time, let me see if the request is detected. Yeah, and the functions detected this request, and the status of the request is displayed here. And I think that is a success. Yeah, that is success. Let me check that again. Okay, the data is actually not returned to the smart contract. I can see nothing wrong. Okay, anyway, because of the issue of the time, we have only 1 hour and it's already 16 minutes over. So I will just let Nicholson to answer some questions. And actually, I will check this code and to post that correct one under the stream, maybe after the workshop yeah, I think we don't need to waste the time on this, and I will check that and to post answer under the stream. Yeah, Nicholson, do you want to answer some questions, maybe from the chat box?
Hi, hello everyone. I saw there are some questions regarding the Telegram problem. This is just some technical issue, and we will enable the messaging sending functionalities for the Telegram channel. So no worries on it. I think for tomorrow it will be message sending able. And I saw another question is whether Tencent Cloud have the server in Europe, right? Sure, Tencent Cloud have the server in Europe, and it is in I remember it's in Francisco. Yep. It is in Frankfurt for Tencent Cloud server in Europe. Any other question I can answer? Yes, I think I covered the two questions being asked. Thank you for your question.
Okay, yeah. So if you have any question, maybe join our Discord to just ask question related to Tencent Cloud in the Tencent Cloud channel, or maybe in the Telegram. Yeah, and I think we are good here, and I will leave like 1 minute to everyone if they want to ask questions. And actually, when you were speaking, Nicholson, I actually saw a question here, maybe skipped. If you want to answer this one, how to use Chainlink functions with MUD? Oh, maybe that is from my side. Yeah, yeah. In MUD, actually, I think the functions, the usage of the function is to relay the data from the Web 2 to the Web 3, and MUD is like a framework. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert of the MUD. I guess that is a framework to the on-chain game, which means the data is on-chain, the business logic is on-chain. So it's not like a mechanism. We save the business logic on the off-chain server and save our smart contract for the asset for some important governance on the blockchain. So in this case, I think only way to use the Chainlink functions with the MUD is that if you have some data, you want to fetch from the gaming API in the Web 2, you can use the Chainlink functions to create your consumer smart contract, send a request, and get the data from the off-chain API. Yeah. Yeah, Nicholson, I think we are good here, and thanks to everyone. Thank you for coming to this workshop, and thank you for your time, and good luck to your hackathon. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Good luck for your hackathon. Bye-bye.
Bye.